Yo, ever heard of Jerkmate?
What's up, pitches? Welcome back to another video. And I'm here to talk about today about a specific character from Milo Murphy's Law, Milo Murphy himself. I'm here to pretty much discuss his law and just how powerful it truly is, because his Murphy's Law is just ridiculously powerful, even more powerful than people realize. And today, pretty much I'm going to go over everything and what it means, what the law means, and what it fundamentally affects. All right, because it's fucking insane how broken this shit is. Now, to pretty much I want to discuss pretty much Murphy's Law, because the creators in the interview stated that this is he's like the personification of the Murphy's Law, and Milo is pretty much the descendant of the original Murphy from 1975, the one that discovered Murphy's Law and the one that pretty much created Murphy's Law. Pretty much. Now, what is Murphy's Law? Pretty much, it pretty much, within the show premise, is that it's a condition that influences the negative probabilities of a certain circumstances around the affected member, increasing the chances for all to actually happen. So Murphy Law really literally means that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So keep in mind for that later on. So pretty much Milo has received the Murphy Law gene that was transmitted from generations until Milo finally received it. So pretty much this law only affects males. So like his sister Sarah, which is Milo's older sister, is unaffected by it. The pattern for those who are affected by Murphy's Law seems to indicate that it's a Y chromosome leak gene. And what it does is it really results to a cyclone of calamity, which is follows him wherever he goes. They could be as small as as slipping, or as large as entire buildings being destroyed. Anything catching on fire without reason, or trucks exploding, etc., etc. This shit just happens out of fucking nowhere. All right, it just spontaneously happens. For Milo, he was drawing. No, he's about to draw on a marker. He was about to use a marker to draw on a board, and he just suddenly caught on fire. That's how just unpredictable the Murphy's Law is. Now, what really causes Murphy's Law, right? What does it really cause? Now, from Baljeet, because he's really smart and shit, and he's really reliable with science and all this type of shit, he literally explains that Milo himself pretty much has these negative probability ions that pretty much radiates from Milo's body. Pretty much, yeah, it really radiates from Milo's body, and it causes everything to go wrong. Now, he literally states in the show that it's a force of nature similar to gravity, which is a physical constant. He literally calls it a physical constant. Now, what is a physical constant? You mean what is that? What is a physical constant? Well, a physical constant, sometimes also known as fundamental physical constant, or a universal constant, is physically quality that is generally believed to be both universal in nature and have constant value in time. You heard that right, people. You heard that right. So to even further claim that this Murphy's Law is a universal constant, is that pretty much Balji even states that it affects energies around the area of the character. It affects the energies around, the entire area that is generated from the character. It doesn't even matter how far away pretty much Milo is. It just affects other energies nearby him. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, he said that they're negative probability ions. So what are ions? So ions are pretty much atoms in which the total number of electrons is not equal to the total number of protons, giving the atom a net positive or a negative electrical charge. So yeah, this pretty much is ions on a atomic level. And what it does, since Balji says it affects energies, this probably means, or most likely means, that it, like, the negative probability ions literally just, it gives other freaking atoms a negative electric charge, and it fucking just, it fucks you up. It just pretty much twists the probability against you. So what it's really saying is that Milo, his Murphy's Law, literally affects you on an atomic level. And not only that, it really just, it messes up one of the fundamental forces of the universe. It really does. It messes up the fundamental forces of the universe, which is electromagnetic force or energy fields, which is Balji is probably saying. So it doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how, well, it does matter how strong you are, but it depends. It really depends, because it really affects you. It affects atoms' probability. It affects atoms' probability. That's what it does. I'm probably going to show it to you so you can understand what this means. But yeah.
All of this destruction was helpful.
The data shows that Murphy's Law is much more of a force of nature than we thought previously. Like gravity, a universal constant. If my calculations are correct, the force of Murphy's Law is in direct opposition to what I would now like to call the Phineas and Ferb effect.
Say what now? You mean Phineas and Ferb have an effect on probabilities like Milo?
Exactly! Just like Milo, their presence in a location seems to skew energy fields, affecting probability. These are the negative probability ions emanating from Milo, and these are the positive probability ions emanating from Phineas and Ferb. So here's what I find interesting. Negative and positive probability ions cannot occupy the same space.
And not only that, this even further pretty much explains why Phineas and Ferb are always getting everything done right, because they have positive probability ions. You know that whole Summer Belongs to You special, when Phineas and Ferb wanted to travel around the world in one day and they successfully did it? Yeah. That's what we're dealing with here. And then we have Milo, who's got kidnapped by aliens because his probability ions are really powerful. And they wanted him to help them stop another probability ion user who was going to destroy the entire planet with calamity. With the spirit of calamity. This person literally just gathers all the negative probability ions from everyone on the planet, and it was going to destroy it. The only way to really solve the problem was to give back everyone the negative probabilities. And yeah, that's pretty much how, at the end of the day, that's what even Milo was even explaining, that he actually just gives people the probability ions and it affects them.
Of Orgoluth's law. So, back on Earth, everyone has negative probability ions surrounding them, which makes everyone subject to Murphy's Law. Of course, some people have more Murphy's Law than others.
That's you. The big one is you.
Yes, that's me. The equivalent on this planet is called Orgelouth's Law, and unfortunately, it all seems to be concentrated on poor Orgelouth. Nobody else has any.
Pretty much, yes, everyone is pretty much like a subject to Murphy's Law. It's just like, it is. Everybody on Earth, everybody on the planet is subjected to Murphy's Law. And it can be even outside of the planet as well, because you know, Milo got kidnapped and everything, and he kind of destroyed the ship just by being on it. So yeah, his Murphy's Law is crazy powerful. And the Murphy's Law is just like a universal concept, because it even affects others across the other side of the universe. So yes, it is a universal concept. And yeah, so like it just makes more sense, okay? It just makes more sense that Milo, his his universal law can affect everything else. All right, it just can. It's just that broken. It's in his genes. It's literally in his genes that it can affect others. So yes, it's like pretty much like an internal thing or an external thing, however y'all want to see it. But yeah. So what does this mean, right? What does this mean? So there's other like things that saying that pretty much that the law itself can affect quantum mechanics, right? And yeah, pretty much I'm going to show you what he said, what the professor said. But yes, it was like Murphy's Law was proven with quantum mechanics. Now, I bet y'all wondering, what the fuck quantum mechanics? What does that mean? So quantum mechanics is pretty much a fundamental theory in physics that provides a description of the physical properties of nature at the scale of atoms and subatomic particles. All right. So yeah, like if you really think about it, pretty much, if it could affect like quantum physics, which is like a branch of physics that explains the behavior of matter and interaction with energy on the scale of atoms and subatomic particles. By manipulating the quantum physics, the user has the potential to utilize phenomenal power by controlling the basic workings of the universe. If the law, the Murphy's Law is able to manipulate the probabilities of the quantum physics, this like pretty much it can do pretty much anything. It can make anything that can go wrong will go wrong. This was even shown when Milo was in the Murphy's Law suit with Phineas and Ferb, and they shot him with the Murphy's Law beam directly at one of the the main villain, and the main villain had entirely went wrong. All of his plans went wrong when somebody actually went back in time. Yes, back in time, and preventing him to even take over the world in the first place. He would perceive if he reach his full potential of the Murphy's Law. The full potential of Murphy's Law. The full potential of Murphy's Law will make him like a god amongst others in scientific manner. I'm not saying Milo himself is on this level, but his law itself is pretty much on a universal level. Yes, you heard it from here. His law is on a universal level because it can affect fundamental forces of the universe. Like it could affect the gravity, it could affect the electromagnetic manipulation of anyone. It just can affect fundamental forces. And even Baljeet compares it to gravity because it is a fundamental force. They say the Murphy's Law is a fundamental force, a physical constant. Well, he said a universal physical constant. So yeah, there you go. There you go. It says another universal fucking, statement. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. All right, that's all I wanted to say. We're gonna do a quick video about this, but Milo Murphy, like his law itself, is a universal threat. It's pretty much a universal threat. It's a universal threat. Okay. It literally takes the concept of the Murphy's Law and it can just affect everyone. And then you could say it can affect other characters, like if they ever was nearby him, like Superman or Goku, stuff like that. Of course, like it can affect Goku. I'm not saying Milo Murphy can beat Goku in a fight. Just you can stop that shit right now. But I'm just saying that if Milo was near Goku, it would affect him. Because everything that can go wrong with Goku will go wrong. Like him powering up, it can backfire on him. Him trying to win a fight, it can also backfire on him. So, just saying. I'm just saying. It can affect characters on that tier, okay? So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. And have a nice day. Peace.